Hi there, this is Ida Norris and from the judges box. And today we have a Tennessee walking horse from Georgia. This is Wicked Wolf, also known as Timber. And this is Tamara Steinbrecher, who sent part of her test from World's End for us to look at, which is kind of amazing because we don't get to see really good Tennessee walkers or gaited horses. We don't get to see a lot of gaited horses, and she's doing a good job with this horse. And so it's really fun to have a clip of a gaited horse. So thank you so much for sending this, Tamara. So what we're going to look at is movement 4, 5, and 6 of second level, level 2, test 1. So she's going to be going across here, and she's going to start uh, with FAK was across this short side, and then she has a 10-meter circle at K, followed by shoulder in down the wall and across the diagonal. So we're going to pick it up right here with her. And remember, it says jog, but for horses that have an intermediate gait, the saddle gait, everywhere it says jog, they're going to be doing their saddle gait. So this is him in his saddle gait. This is Timber. Okay, here we go. He's nice and steady. He's on the bit. Wow, she went in the corner. Did you see that? Woohoo! Now here we're going to stop this right there. Okay. Um, really nice circle. We're going to let her go just a little bit further. Okay. So a perfect 10-meter circle, just kind of touching, just barely touching that center line. You do not want to bisect your horse. You don't want to put half of your horse over the center line, because if you do, half of your horse is over. Now I'm going to back her up because probably from down there it looked like this was big enough, but if we draw a line right here, she actually had this circle probably a little small. But I'll tell you the truth, if as a judge, I would rather see it just a hair tight. Like tight is harder for them. Over is easier. And so if they make a mistake that it's a tiny bit smaller, but it's excellent, I'm not a great one for penalizing them for that. If there's bend, if there's balance, if it looks good. But the ones that are over, that makes it easier. And I never know if they, had trouble steering the horse, it won't bend. Like, how come you're over? So if you have to make a mistake, you don't want to make any mistakes. You want to be accurate if you can, but if you're gonna make a mistake, smaller tends to be there on accuracy. They'll let you slide a little more on accuracy. Oh, don't tell them I said that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have her go around there again. So we'll pull that backwards and just let her go again. So here we go. He's very steady in his saddle gait. I just think that's an angle thing maybe for our camera. But anyway, could be a hair steadier there and bigger. So here he's in the shoulder in, and it you're gonna back him up just a little bit. The shoulder in from the back is always the hardest angle for a judge to judge, with the exception of the side. And right now, Western Dressage doesn't have any judging from the side. We don't have any shows where there's judging from the side. We may have some, but they're not happening yet. Even at Worlds, there's only one judge on a ring. So for the moment, the judging from the side is the hardest. And this horse, let's see him just come and step into this. So he's around the corner, and there he goes and steps into his shoulder in. And he stepped into his 3 tracks, but I had the feeling as he went down the wall that 3 tracks faded a little bit, but it was still okay. So I'm thinking it looks better from the front and it's harder from the back. I'm thinking I would have given a 7 and said could be more clearly on outside aids. It's always tricky to keep the horses on the outside aids, but he certainly was steady. He was round to the bridle. We didn't see a lot of rider aids. The rider didn't contort any at all. She was right sitting up straight. And here she is just headed across the diagonal. And once again, now she looks pretty nice and straight here. Her arms are low could be a little bit closer together, but her arms are nice and low. She has some bend in the elbows. We really like that. Alignment's pretty good here. This horse is pretty steady. And he's headed right for the corner. The only thing I see there also is, in reality, let's back him up just a couple steps so we can really see. Okay. You know, I would coach her. Here he goes. I would coach her that I want her to get to the rail here. And I feel like she's getting to the rail here, which is about, you know, a half of a horse's body. This length on a horse is about 4 feet, 4.5 feet from his shoulder to his butt. And so, you know, well, are you getting to the corner with his butt on the corner, or are you getting to the corner with his shoulder on the corner? For a really good line on the diagonal, you want to get to this line that his left shoulder is on this track at the letter. That's a little different line. So I feel like she was probably the width of her horse to the left of the line that I would really like to have her have. Now, why is this important? I mean, it's picayune, it's a detail, but when she gets to level 5, she has things coming in level 5, like turn on this diagonal H, going to the center line, doing a full canter pirouette, and then she has to come to E and do a flying change, and she has to do the change and make a pick and turn back to the center line again. So you actually have to land before E, half of a horse length width. You have to land at E, half a horse width, the width of him over, so that when you do the change, you're still straight, and you sort of do a half canter pirouette to get back onto this next diagonal line. Well, you have to get used to dealing with these diagonal lines, and the fact that your horse has a width, and which part of your horse are you putting on this line, which is kind of interesting. So I don't think the judge knocked her down on that, but let me just back her up one more time. You're going to see that when she gets to the line, from our point of view, she's past M. And really, we feel like she ought to be here, and she's there. And really, it's his hind legs that stepped onto the line. So if he had had this line a little bit more here, not a big deal. I don't think, you know, if the shoulder in and the change rein are together, your emphasis is on the shoulder in. But as a coach, I'm all over her about that line, because every single diagonal line has to be right, and you have to be able to do them in your sleep, because all of this really complicated riding is coming, flying changes and canter pirouettes, and I'm sorry, lope pirouettes. To remember, I've been a dressage judge for a long time. I have to watch when I say lope and canter. But all of these complicated movements are coming on these lines, and the width of your horse makes a difference whether you're on the line or not. And for her, her next movement was that she needed to do a canter depart, a lope depart between here and C. And the use of this corner becomes real important. And the 2 or 3 steps that she could be more straight here gives her more time to half halt on the outside rein to be ready to do this depart, which was going to be her next movement. So this was fascinating. Do I think these were good? Yep, this looks great. I think probably very good scores here, or good scores, definitely. Horse is steady. It's on the bit. It's showing uphill balance. We have a quiet rider. We have harmony. So this was very steady, but it showed us some really interesting things on the lines. So that was great. And we got to see a really cool horse in Saddlegate. So Tamara, thank you for sending this to us. And until next time, thanks so much. Hug your horses for me and take care. Bye.